What's going on, all you wild tornado enthusiasts out there? Your two favorite Glen Powell aficionados are back tonight, and we are here to talk about the sequel to Twister back from 1996. This one stars Glen Powell. If you feel it, chase it. Glen Powell as Tyler and Daisy Edgar-Jones as Kate, and Anthony Ramos as Javi. We're talking about Isaac Lee Chung's Twisters.
Face your fears. You ride them. We got twins! Twins!
So that's right. We are in Tornado Alley in Oklahoma for this one. And I liked what they did with this sequel, to make it modern and feel fresh, introducing the whole YouTube aspect to it, bringing somebody out there, seeking attention and seeking followers on YouTube, looking to make some money on the side, selling merch and making it kind of a show. And then also having like the big truck with the augers that are able to anchor down into the dirt so he can, stay in the middle of the tornado and shoot the fireworks up into it. Just a showman, Tyler, Glen Powell's character.
Setup in the movie is pretty interesting because it shows like a younger Kate played by Daisy Edgar-Jones and Javi, Anthony Ramos, and their group of friends, storm chasers. They have Dorothy with the sensors and everything, just like the original movie, which they never really explained. But they have this, and much like the original film, they're trying to get the sensors up in the tornado so they can get data and, help out people and alert them to get to safety, much like the original film. And it sets up a pretty interesting first part of the film, probably about the first 20 minutes or so, is this group of friends and them coming across a really huge tornado.
We're following Kate here. She's the main character of the film, along with Tyler, but mainly Kate because it's her story. It's how a bad event during that twister led to her leaving Oklahoma and going to New York and working for this big network and becoming a meteorologist and using her knowledge of tornadoes and everything to help get, broadcast all the tornado warnings and everything, much like the Weather Channel or something like that. So she's eventually working there and, she lost somebody dear to her and lost some friends in the tornado back in the day in Oklahoma. And one of the survivors, Javi, played by Anthony Ramos, walks back into her life and, says, "Look at me. I'm fully funded now. I have money behind me. Let's continue this research. We got to go to Oklahoma again. There's a big storm system coming into Oklahoma. There's been a lot of storms this summer. This is a perfect opportunity to, take all the knowledge that you gained and all your expertise, and we can put money behind it now, and we can come up with research and help save people." So it brings Kate back into that world. And, as soon as they get into town, that's when you run into Glen Powell's Tyler, that wild boy who really reminded me like kind of a younger version of McConaughey in this, kind of that kind of crass and, egotistical guy at first, where he's all into himself and he's all about the clout and status, and he's got his catchphrases. It just brings a lot of excitement to it.
Anthony Ramos' character playing Javi, he has like this new technology that he got from the military, and he gets funding behind it, having to do with this big shot guy in Oklahoma. But with this new technology, they're going to, capture more data. He brings Kate back into this world. She's been out of it due to, the beginning part of the film. She's been out of the business like 5 years, storm chasing, working a desk job in New York. She's happy, content. But, Javi brings her back down to Oklahoma to introduce her to this technology and his group of morons, which are basically like the Carrie Ools and like his crew from the first film. They have the newer technology. They're wearing like polo shirts and khakis.
Yeah.
And they're like really boring, but the education, a lot of people have like PhDs and from MIT and stuff like that. But then introduces Tyler's character, his group of misfits, and like the RV and have like a drone and stuff like that. The fun crew, basically, like the first film, like Joe's crew.
Yeah.
And that's how they kind of set up Tyler's character, which is really fun. It brought life and energy to the movie, which I thought was lacking in the first part of the film.
Yeah, for sure. Once he shows up on the screen, then it really gets fun. The movie really picks up and sets you out on the adventure for the rest of the film. It is all about that new technology. Anthony Ramos's company is working for. They're able to get these big kind of sensors that they're going to put down, and they're going to put it in front of the tornado, basically at all angles, and it's going to give you like a 3D model of the tornado, basically. So that's kind of the setup there. When they're chasing their first tornado, they're going to try to drop these, behind and front and to the side of the tornadoes. And the first one doesn't go so well. They run into some problems there, and Kate kind of has some PTSD with that. And something goes wrong on there. But then you have Tyler and his company. Sort of, they come in and they're racing in down the road and they're cutting each other off. It starts very much that that competitive nature in between these two storm chasers. And as the movie goes on and the storms intensify, those two teams are going to have to come together because there's some really dangerous storms on the way. There's multiple tornadoes, multiple twisters in here, like you've seen in the previews. They try to do a lot in this one to one up what was done in the original Twister. They're trying to, they show us the one that's two funnel clouds at once, and then we have one with fire that goes through like a fuel plant basically and causes flames up into the Twister. It looks really cool. But yeah, I was very happy with the Twisters themselves. A little less realistic this go around. It felt more computerized, but I felt like what they did get right was a lot of, the debris and everything and the power of these tornadoes and like sucking people away and stuff like that. It felt almost like a nod to a Jaws film. I noticed several things too, just this, the twisters and the dark happening at night in this film too, like in the middle of the night when nobody could really see them. And then you have the lightning and it shows it. And then there was also the nod to Jaws that I noticed with the yellow barrels. So Lee Isaac,
Oh, right.
yeah,
Yeah.
remember they were filled. Yeah, Lee Isaac Chung said that, yeah, that was definitely true. He had gained some inspiration from watching Jaws while filming this. So there's definitely some nods to his love for Spielberg in this too, which I appreciated. And this being an Amblin film, was very, very cool and, belonged with this big summer blockbuster.
Definitely felt like an Amblin movie. Just like the goofiness, lightheartedness at times, the characters, the one energetic over the top character. Like it felt like a movie, an Amblin movie is the best way to put it. It really is. It pulls at your heartstrings at times. It puts you on the edge of your seat in a lot of scenes, scares you to death with the tornadoes. It pulls on a lot of emotions within this film. So I can definitely see that. But really the tornadoes were really captivating, really scary in this movie. You're the one you're talking about, the fire in it. The one that comes to mind, my favorite scene in the movie is a rodeo. They're sitting there and it just comes out of nowhere. It's massive. And of course, another scene having to do with the movie theater, which was my favorite scene from the first one when they're watching The Shining and it rips, the drive-in theater and it rips the
Yeah.
screen, sucks it in. So, yeah, that was cool. There were really two great scenes that come to mind. A few scenes just with the characters that look like they're in front of a green screen. They're like, oh my God, you can tell that was obvious. But tornadoes themselves, they look really good in this film.
Yeah, I really love this cast chemistry. I felt Anthony Ramos, Glen Powell, and Daisy, those characters really worked well. That core group, plus even all the side characters. Boone, who's basically the new Philip Seymour Hoffman, he was just the same kind of goofy, energetic side character that was fun, and then you had like the individual people in the group that had their own lanes that they're filling in. The techie that flew the drone, and then like the tough girl that was kind of always there to help out. And then you kind of find out after Tyler's filming everything for YouTube that it's not all for personal gain. They actually give a lot back to the community, and they actually are looking to save lives. That's what really brings the film together, is finding out that all these teams have one thing in common. It's really saving lives and getting the word out, and getting the warnings out to people and help save lives. They have to come together in this film, and I feel in those moments that's when the cast really shined. They were putting like the goofy one-liners to bed and really had to work together. And I thought Glen Powell, this being like his first, like, I know he was in Top Gun Maverick, but this is like his first starring blockbuster. I thought he really nailed this one. He portrayed everything in this. He was the hot shot, but then he also had those moments where you could see that he was affected by what Kate's story was and learning when he went out to her old house and met her mom and found out that she, had put in, most of her childhood researching this and it meant so much, and finding out that she lost her friends and everything. Those moments are what really brought the movie home for me. In addition to all the glorious effects and amazing sound and everything, it's really the cast that made it work for me.
Kate and Tyler had a lot in common that we find out throughout the film, and it really builds this connection. And they didn't really come in for a kiss, but maybe in the upcoming movies, but it really is building this relationship. And Javi at the same time is in love with Kate. Obviously, she doesn't have
Yeah.
the feelings for him. So he's kind of in the background most of the movie, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, I thought, Tyler and Kate were good characters to take it on to, maybe future films. But it was definitely a good and interesting introduction to these two characters. One we forgot to talk about, David Cornsweet, that plays the Carrie Ewell's character in this movie.
Mhm.
Just chews gum. He's gonna be the new Superman. I thought he was very douchey, and that's what I was expecting from his character.
Yeah, he delivered exactly what I figured he was going to do. You could tell he'd been working out. I mean, the
Yeah.
last we saw of him was in Pearl. He definitely filled out, so I imagine he's even going to be bigger. But I definitely saw Superman in him, just looking at him, the blue eyes, the hair, and everything. It was just the role, I think. He'll be different acting in Superman, obviously. But yeah, his character definitely reminded me of Carrie Ewell's from the first one. Who's that, guy that you don't really want to like. And I liked what happened to his character at the end. He's like, "We have to get out and stop now." And then Anthony Ramos just leaves him on the tornado. So we don't really know what happened to old Uncle Corn Sweat there, but hopefully we find out in the next one. So I think overall, both of us enjoyed this movie. Was it as good as the first one, or close to us as that one is? No, it never was going to be. But I thought that it, at least in my mind, was about even with my expectations for it. Happy for Glen Powell. Thought he nailed this role. He was, a fun character for him to do. He got to go through a range of emotions. He got to be the hot shot, save the day at the end, and come together with the whole group there. And Daisy Edgar-Jones, Kate, she was a great character to follow. You can tell she really cared about her work here. She did a great job. The chemistry of everybody. Anthony Ramos too, I was impressed with. I liked his character too. Very sympathetic to him. You find out something about his character and who he's working for to get all that money. And, he didn't see that. He wasn't greedy or anything. He was just looking to get his group funded. And then he find out, that it was actually not all in a good place, coming from a good place from the person that was funding them. But, they were all just looking to help save lives and, have that adventure and get out there in the suck zone, as old Dusty said in the first one. So yeah, I had a blast with this. Everything was great. Perfect summer blockbuster movie. Definitely go see it. It blew up the box office this past weekend, exceeded expectations. We'll see how it does its next weekend against Deadpool and Wolverine, I guess. Hopefully it doesn't have like a terrible drop off. But pretty much everybody went and saw it this weekend, which is good news for the movie. Hopefully we'll get another one, because I'd like to see another one out of with the same crew. They did a great job. Bring everybody back, and let's see what they can do from here. So with that being said, I'm going to give Twisters, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 Javi hair pieces.
Well, I didn't like it as much as you, but it was a good time. I will say that it's a fun movie to watch at the cinema. It's a fun summer blockbuster popcorn flick. You may drop the popcorn in a few scenes, the gnarly ass tornadoes that feel like they ripped through the screen. Some good performances here. Glen Powell's a movie star now. We've been rooting for this guy for a minute now. And just the way that this tore up the box office, he's a movie star. So it's only going to keep blowing up his career right now. Daisy Edgar-Jones is pretty good as Kate. Anthony Ramos, I always like him in everything. And him playing Javi, I thought it was pretty interesting. I liked how, he's involved with some bad guys and he kind of snaps out of it. And he's like, I did this to help people. So that being said, I'm going to give Twisters, now playing in cinemas across the globe, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 Glen Powell hair pieces.
So we want to hear from you guys. What did you guys think of Twisters? How do you compare it to the original film? Let us know in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. Also, follow along with these wild storm chasers on our Facebook, Instagram, and X pages. And don't forget our website, Cinephellas.com. And another thing that we forgot to mention was there was an awful lot of country. Aww. It almost felt like a music video for some of the times, I thought, with the music. That's one thing that I dinged for my score there, was just like there's too many songs. I would have been okay with one or two, but it felt like there were like 5 or 6 like country songs. I heard Miranda Lambert in there. I know Jelly Roll had like the new song for it. I think Luke Combs, a couple other country artists in there. But I guess for it being in Oklahoma, I could see the choice, but I felt like there was one too many needle drops in it.
Some weird musical choices in there that didn't make sense, but yeah, that's definitely a negative remark for me too.
We wanted more Van Halen.
Anyways, also check out these Wild Boys all summer long right here on our YouTube channel. Me and this guy over here have been dropping like 3 to 6 videos a week, depending on the week, but movies out every week this summer. And of course, all the TV shows dropping we're watching right now, so stay tuned all summer long. All the videos are coming in hot.
So thank you guys for watching our review of Twisters. We're going to be back for Deadpool and Wolverine very soon. That's the next summer blockbuster. We can't wait for that one. Ooh, watch out for spoilers tonight. They say that the premiere happened, so it's probably going to be all over social media. So you guys watch out for that until you can watch the movie. So until the next Cinephellas movie review, I'm Uncle Henry Hill.
And I'm Uncle James Logan Howlett signing out until the next movie review. Cheers!